Good afternoon. This is Akashvani and I am Valsa Williams with the Midday News. The headlines. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says Canada has a pattern of making allegations without providing specifics, calls putting Indian diplomats under surveillance unacceptable. President Droupadi Murmu stresses on discussing the role of Buddhism to strengthen Asia and bring real peace. Leaders of all political parties intensify their election campaign for Jharkhand Assembly Polls. Supreme Court upholds constitutional validity of Uttar Pradesh Madarsa Education Act 2004. Polling in the US to elect a new president to begin in a few hours. Festival of Chhath commences with the ritual of Nahay-Khay. And in tennis, India's Rithvik Choudary, Bollipalli and his Portuguese partner Francisco Cabral advance to the men's doubles quarterfinals of Moselle Open in France. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has termed the attack on a Hindu temple in Canada as deeply concerning. In a joint press conference with his Australian counterpart Penny Wong at Canberra this morning, Dr. Jaishankar expressed concern that political space is being given to extremist forces in Canada.
Let me make three comments. One, Canada has developed a pattern of making allegations without providing specifics. Secondly, when we look at Canada, for us, the fact that they're putting diplomats under surveillance is something which is unacceptable. Third, the incidents which the gentleman there spoke about, I think they would tell you, in a way, the political space today, which is being given to extremist forces there. So we believe in freedoms.
On being asked about the attacks on Hindu temples in Canberra, the Australian Foreign Minister called the attacks upsetting for the Indian community. She said all Australians, regardless of their faith and culture, are entitled to be safe and be respected. The press conference was being held after Dr. Jaishankar participated in the 15th India-Australia Foreign Ministers Framework Dialogue with Ms. Wong in Canberra today. President Droupadi Murmu today said India is the blessed land of Dhamma, and in every age there have been great masters and mystics. Addressing the gathering of the first Asian Buddhist summit in New Delhi this morning, the president said the Buddha holds a unique place among these pathfinders. The president said today, when the world is facing an existential crisis on many fronts, the Buddhist community has much to offer to humankind. She stressed the need to discuss the role of Buddhism in strengthening Asia and how it can bring real peace to Asia and the world.
As the theme of the summit has captured it well, we need to discuss the role of Buddha Dhamma in strengthening Asia. Indeed, we need to expand the discussion to see how Buddha Dhamma can bring peace, real peace, to Asia and to the world, a peace free from not only physical violence, but also from all forms of greed and hatred, the two mental forces at the root of all our miseries, according to the Buddha. India has and will continue to do all it can to partner with you in this endeavor, just as you too have contributed to it. Here I am thinking of the preservation of the Buddha's teachings and how it has been a great collective endeavor for all of us.
The two-day summit is organized by the Ministry of Culture in collaboration with the International Buddhist Confederation. In Jharkhand, campaigning has intensified in those areas where the first phase of polling is scheduled to be held on the 13th of this month. While addressing an election meeting at Domchachi in Kodarma, UP, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath accused Chief Minister Hemant Soren of ruining the state and said the election is the right time to uproot the corrupt government.
जहां कहीं पर भी भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकारें हैं, उन्होंने विकास का एक मॉडल दिया और इसीलिए मैं कहने के लिए आया हूं बहनों और भाइयों, ये चुनाव उसी विकास के नाम पर जिन लोगों ने आपको छला है उसको जवाब देने का एक अवसर भी है.
On the other hand, senior JMM leader and Chief Minister Hemant Soren accused the BJP of dividing society in the name of religion.
आज ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी का लोग वोट डालो और राजनीति करो में विश्वास रखता है, लेकिन महागठबंधन के लोग एकता में अखंडता पर विश्वास रखता है, सबको जोड़कर चलता है.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is scheduled to address election meetings in Ranchi and Lohardaga, while Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge will seek vote in favour of India bloc candidates at rallies at Mandu in Hazaribagh and Kanke in Ranchi. The Election Commission has given consent to appoint Ambar Lakra as the new Deoghar SP. Earlier, the Commission removed Ajit Peter Dungdung from the post and directed the Jharkhand government to send a panel of 3 IPS officers for the SP's post. In reply to the Commission, the state government wrote a letter to the Election Commission questioning the removal of Peter Dungdung. Meanwhile, over 1,047 crore rupees have been seized from different parts of Jharkhand since the announcement of the assembly elections. Chief Electoral Officer K. Ravikumar said 31 FIRs have been lodged for violation of the Model Code of Conduct.
अभी तक सीजरा 147.8 करोड़ हुआ. अभी तक हम लोग का एमसीसी केस का वायलेशन है. 31 केसेस अभी तक फाइल हुई. इसमें सरायकेला में 1, रांची में 2, सिमडेगा 2, धनबाद 1, रामगढ़ 2, ईस्ट सिंहभूम 1, देवघर 1, गढ़वा 18, जामताड़ा में 1, हजारीबाग 1, पलामू 1.
A joint operation is underway in bordering areas of UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Odisha to ensure trouble-free elections. In Maharashtra as well, campaigning is intensifying across the state as election date is approaching. A total of 4,140 candidates are contesting in 288 constituencies. Senior leaders from all parties are working hard to win over voters. Our Mumbai correspondent has more.
Chief Minister Eknath Shinde addressed an election rally today in Koregaon, Satara in support of Shiv Sena candidate Mahesh Shinde. Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis took part in a large rally in Nagpur Southwest constituency, which he has represented for 3 consecutive terms. NCP candidate Nawab Malik, who has filed his nomination from Mandkhurd Shivajinagar constituency with the backing of party chief Ajit Pawar, will launch his campaign today, contesting against Mahayuti candidate Suresh Patil. NCP SP Supremo Sharad Pawar engaged with voters in Baramati's Shirsuphal village, backing party candidate Yugendra Pawar from Baramati. Additionally, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi is scheduled to address election rallies in Nagpur and Mumbai tomorrow. Ankita Apte, Akashvani News, Mumbai.
This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our X handle at AIR News Alerts. And for details of stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and download News on AIR app. Here with us on the Midday News. The Supreme Court today upheld the constitutional validity of the Uttar Pradesh Board of Madarsa Education Act 2004. A bench comprising Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud and Justices J.B. Pardiwala and Manoj Mishra gave the verdict against the Allahabad High Court's March 22nd judgment that declared the Act as unconstitutional and violative of the principles of secularism. The Apex Court said the statute can be struck down if a state lacks legislative competence. The ruling means that madrasas would continue to function in Uttar Pradesh with the state regulating the education standards. In another decision today, the Supreme Court held in a majority ruling that not all private properties are part of the material resources of the community and that the state must redistribute under Article 39B of the Constitution. However, it noted that some private properties could fall under this category if they are significant and serve the community. The 9-judge bench led by Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud included Justices Rishikesh Roy, B.V. Nagaratna, Sudhanshu Dhulia and others. The 8-1 majority verdict was authored by the CJI, with Justice Nagaratna partially agreeing and Justice Dhulia dissenting. The Centre has released the 15th Finance Commission grants during the financial year 2024-25 for the rural local bodies of Haryana, Tripura and Mizoram. Panchayati Raj institutions and rural local bodies of Haryana have been given untied grants amounting to nearly 195 crore rupees as part of the first instalment. The government has taken a series of steps to stabilize the prices of essential food items while also ensuring fair price to the farmers. In this series, Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution Minister Prahlad Joshi today launched the Phase 2 of Bharat brand rice and atta today in New Delhi. Bharat brand atta is available at a price of 30 rupees per kilogram and Bharat brand rice can be bought at 34 rupees per kilogram. While addressing the media after the launch, Mr. Joshi said this is an important step among a series of steps taken by the government for the welfare of ordinary consumers. Niti Aayog member Dr. Vinod K. Paul today said artificial intelligence brings in precision and approach to various clinical conditions in the healthcare sector. He said this during the FICCI's 18th Annual Healthcare Conference, FICCI Health 2024. Speaking about the theme, Dr. Paul said health outcomes and services of the country should be at a level with the developed countries.
विकसित भारत में हर सेक्टर एक विकसित देशों के लेवल का होगा। तो प्रधानमंत्री जी की जो कल्पना है उसमें स्वस्थ भारत होना भी शामिल है कि हमारे हेल्थ के आउटकम्स, हमारी लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी, हमारा वेलनेस और हमारे सर्विसेज भी उसी लेवल की हों जैसा कि विकसित देशों में हो रहा है और उनसे भी ज्यादा बढ़ के हों।
In the United States, today is election day, with Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump and Democratic candidate Kamala Harris vying to become the next president. The polls are scheduled to open at 10 GMT. Mr. Trump ended his campaign with a speech in Michigan. Mr. Trump vowed to seal the border and has proposed tax cuts worth trillions.
Joe and Kamala broke it, and I will fix it. I'll fix it. And America will be bigger and better and bolder and richer and safer and stronger than ever before. It's going to be all of those things.
On the other hand, Ms. Harris, wrapped up in another swing state, Pennsylvania, she has advocated for abortion rights and pledged to lower food and housing costs for working families.
And you, who have only known the climate crisis, are leading the charge to protect our planet and our future. You, who grew up with active shooter drills, are fighting to keep our schools safe. You, who have known fewer rights than your mothers and grandmothers, are standing up for freedom. And for you, none of these issues is theoretical or political. This is your lived experience. And I see you.
With 538 electoral college votes up for grabs, the candidate who secures 270 will win. The 4-day-long festival of Chhath Puja began today with the ritual of Nahay-Khay. In Bihar, devotees in large numbers are gathered at the banks of Ganga, Kosi, Gandak, Bagmati and other rivers to perform the puja of the sun god. More from our correspondent.
Today, the devotees are performing puja of the sun god, who is main deity adored during the festival. As per tradition, devotees will consume cooked food items like arwa rice, chana dal and green vegetable gourd in form of the prasad. Tomorrow, kharna will be performed. After that, a tough and 36-hour-long fast will begin, in which devotees abstain from drinking water. The famous sun temples like Dev, Ongari Dham, Olar in Aurangabad, Nalanda and Patna district is also attracting huge crowd of devotees from Bihar and other states on the occasion. Dharmendra Kumar Rai, Akashvani News, Patna.
On to sports in tennis, India's Rithvik, Choudary, Bollipalli and his partner Francisco Cabral of Portugal have advanced to the men's doubles quarterfinals after getting a walkover at the Moselle Open in France. Their French opponents Arthur Cazot and Arol Mayo withdrew from the match. Now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says Canada has a pattern of making allegations without providing specifics, calls putting Indian diplomats under surveillance unacceptable. President Droupadi Murmu stresses on discussing the role of Buddhism to strengthen Asia and bring real peace. Leaders of all political parties intensify their election campaign for Jharkhand Assembly Polls. Supreme Court upholds constitutional validity of Uttar Pradesh Madarsa Education Act 2004. Polling in the US to elect a new president to begin in a few hours. Festival of Chhath commences with ritual of Nahay-Khay. And in tennis, India's Rithvik Choudary Bollipalli and his Portuguese partner Francisco Cabral advance to men's doubles quarterfinals of Moselle Open in France. And with that, we end the midday news.